So good afternoon, all of you. This is hopefully my screen is visible to all of you, and on the screen, this is exercise topic exercise 3B, which is related to the regression. Uh, so this is what we are supposed to practice for this particular session. Let me join it from the playlist script. Yes, my screen is visible, and this is topic exercise 3B, and in this exercise, we're having six questions. Sorry, yes, six questions, and this question, we guys are supposed to identify either regression lines or both the regression coefficients, or might be we are supposed to identify if that two different lines are provided, then we are supposed to identify which of them is regression line x on y and which of them is y on x. So this kind of stuff is included in this particular exercise, and mark my words, this is very very important. uh, when you guys are dealing with in the future, when you guys are supposed to deal with your research work, then surely you will be dealing with both the regression lines, linear regression, and in that part, both regression coefficient can play a quite crucial role. So how to identify the regression coefficient, how to, if you're having both the regression coefficient, then how we can identify the coefficient of correlation, when we can say that there is a strong correlation between both the variable, when we can say that there is a quite low correlation. So all that stuff, all this kind of knowledge we had already gathered from in our third unit, which is correlation and regression. So this is a last exercise. Before this particular exercise, we had done that exercise 3, that was with the topic correlation. In that particular part, correlation हमने क्या क्या सीखा था, how to identify the correlation. We know that there are two different ways. Either we may proceed with the graphical way, or we may proceed with the mathematical ways. In the graphical part, we had learned that static diagram method. In the uh, mathematical methods, we have learned three different methods. That three methods are Carl Pearson's method, then after Spearman's rank correlation, then after Kendall's tau correlation. Is it Kendall's tau, or we can say that Kendall's rank correlation? So we had done the exercise regarding to the correlation in our previous lab. This is topic exercise 3B, and this is purely focused, purely based on the regression. Is it? Now, first of all, let me know, out of this the six questions, are we done with the first one? I don't think so. We're done with the first one. What the first question says, that if two lines of regression, if two lines of regression are blah and blah, then which of them is regression line x on y and which of them is y on x? So first we need to determine out of both this equation which is the regression, which indicates the regression line x on y, and which is for the y on x. And after gathering that information, then we will be looking for the coefficient of correlation, and then standard deviation of one of the variable, if standard deviation of y, if standard deviation of x is 3. So first let me know whether we had done this or not. क्या हमने ये किया था कि नहीं किया था, because अब ये बहुत important है. If you're having two equation, then to determine which of them is x on y and which of them is y on x, that determination is very very important. If you can do that, then you can do any of the stuff related to, you can deal with any of the examples related to this particular topic. So quickly let me know whether you guys are good with that, whether you guys are comfortable to identify which of them is regression line x on y, which of them is y on x. अगर ये हो गया है तो बताइए, नहीं हुआ है तो भी बताइए. चलिए जल्दी से. Out of the six, I will help you for two. Out of the six questions, I will help for two questions, and rest of four questions will be done by you. So please let me know quickly by unmuting yourself, because I'm not able to access the chat box right now. Any of you will unmute yourself, one of you, Bharti or to Mohammed or to Pranjul or to Rishabh. Bharti, are you there? Then unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Sir, it's
Okay.
done.
All exercises then, or just you're talking about the first one?
No, so first one is done, and second one also I think you had discussed, if I'm not wrong. Actually, I've done it,
फर्स्ट
so
3 हो गए सर.
First three.
हाँ सर, देखा मैंने बुक में.
The following data is okay, good. The first three. Third one is quite important, huh? And I'm sure that this semester we're not gonna have descriptive examination. If अगर descriptive examination होती है ना, तो मैं यहाँ पे पेपर लिख कर रहा हूँ. देखिए, third question will be there surely. Surely I will change some of the data, but the kind of question will be surely there. If you are going for the descriptive examination, then surely I will put one of the question for the full marks, which is similar to third one. Okay, so is it all of you are good? All of you are good that we're done the first three questions. Okay, okay. I need to be sure because I'm having two different batch with me. Bharti, you belongs to which batch?
so C batch.
You belongs to C batch, and we are also having B batch with us. B batch means Rishabh. Rishabh, are we done with the first and second question? If you're not, then I need to explain a little bit.
हेलो सर, राज बोल रहा हूँ.
Yes, Raj, please.
बी बैच में ही हूँ सर मैं भी. फर्स्ट 3 हुए. सेकंड मैंने
Good,
खुद
good,
किया
good,
था, मेरे को याद है. कैमरा
good, good.
वेब कैमरा ऑन करके.
Okay. So the first, second, and third is done in both the lab B and C. So we need to continue with the 4, 5, and 6 now. These three are quite similar type of questions. So what I'm doing, I will help you for one of them. So you will pick the question from 4, 5, and 6, and that will be done by me. And rest of two, I will provide the proper time to all of you for the practice, and then we'll ask some of you to share your screen, and then we'll be dealing with that. So pick one of them. 4, 5, and 6 में से कोई एक पसंद कीजिए. चलिए जल्दी से. In the fourth question, I'm supposed to find just the regression coefficient y on
6.
x.
6.
Perfect, huh? Is it the lengthiest? You pick the lengthiest, is it? सबसे बड़ा वाला है वो सर करेंगे, बाकी छोटा वाला हम करेंगे. Is it like that? Okay, good. It's okay, totally fine. I'm not worried, comfortable with all that. Wait. So let me collect the data first of all. So what I'm doing, hmm, let me share my. Just give me 1 minute so I can open a notebook which will. Just give me 1 minute. Stay here. Let me take the data from the. There is regression. There is. And we are going for the sixth one. So this is question 6. That's the over here. Let me switch the window. Stop presenting. Let me present window and not page. Okay. Observe my screen is once again visible to you. It's a Microsoft Notepad, and let me solve the question over that. So what it is properly visible, is it now? Or am I supposed to zoom a little bit? ठीक से दिखाई दे रहा है या फिर ज़्यादा जूम करने की ज़रूरत है? It is similar question. It is the same question. Question number 6. Is it okay? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Good. So there's the same question. I had copied the question from that particular, and this question, what we are supposed to do from the following data, obtain two regression line. We are supposed to obtain both the regression line and the coefficient of correlation. That means correlation coefficient. Now, first of all, let's prepare. Let's good. So we are looking for both the regression lines, is it? Both the regression lines. So we are in need of regression lines. We know that regression line x on y will have the format x minus x bar equals to bxy y minus y bar. So we are in need of this particular line, as well as there's a regression line x on y, as well as we will be in need of regression line y on x, and the format for the y on x is y minus y bar equals to be yx into x minus x bar. In both that formulas, both this bxy and byx are the regression coefficient, as well as x bar and y bar are the arithmetic mean for both the series, respectively for x as well as y. So this is what we are looking for, as well as in addition of that, we are also in need of correlation coefficient. Is it? And the correlation coefficient we are habituated to denote with r. So instead of r, if I'm writing like that, rxy, it's totally fine. Rxy लिखूं या तो फिर simply r लिखूं, both these are same. And so we are looking for this three particular stuff: first, second, and third. And this is the data we are having. So what we are supposed to do, first of all, we guys will identify how many different raw materials we will be in need. Is it? So for both the regression lines, to identify both the regression lines, we are in need of x bar. So let me prepare the list. We are in need of x bar, we are in need of y bar, then we will be in need of bxy, byx. I think this will be enough. Once we are having all this data, x bar, y bar, both the regression coefficient, then we can identify both the regression line as well as the coefficient of correlation, because for the coefficient of correlation, we know that the formula for the coefficient of correlation, that is a coefficient of correlation, is the geometric mean of both the regression coefficient. So we may use this particular formula. Is it? So let's try to identify all this stuff, x bar, y bar, and both the regression coefficient. For the x bar and y bar and both the regression coefficient, uh, x bar, y bar, it's very easy to identify. For x bar, we can go for summation x divided by n, summation of y divided by n for the y bar. But what we can do for both the regression coefficient? So we need to have that formulas, that bxy, the formula for the bxy, and formula for the byx. What formula we will use? We will be using this formula for bxy, that will be summation x minus x bar, y minus y bar, divide by y. So in the denominator will be summation y minus y bar the whole square. Am I good? Are we good with this? याद है किसी को? There is a formula for the regression coefficient x on y. Is it clear? Is it good? याद है किसी को ये? मोहम्मद आयुद है? Formula सही है
Yes,
बेटा?
sir. Sir.
And what will be the formula for b by x, regression coefficient y on x?
Sir, the denominator will be x minus x bar to the whole square.
Yes, and numerator will remain as it is, summation x minus x bar into y minus y bar, and denominator will change, and then will be summation x minus x bar the whole square. So now finally, we must have x bar, then y bar, then we must have this summation, which is in the numerator, which is same in both the formulas. The same in both the formulas. We keep both the numerators are same, so we are in need of that, as well as we are in need of summation y minus y bar the whole square, as well as x minus x bar the whole square. So once we are uh, clear with this, okay, what are the different summations we need. So we may go for our table. So I'm gonna represent the same similar data in the table. So we'll start with x, y, then we will go for, let me write it down over here. Just x bar, y bar, x bar 185, x 100, 85, and 98, 90. One of you will help me, then it will be good for me. 98, 90. कोई एक व्हाट्सएप में से मुझे लिखवा दो जल्दी से, मोहम्मद. 98,
Yes, sir.
90. Use your WhatsApp to give me the data.
98, 90,
98, 90,
78, 78,
78,
70,
78,
70,
okay,
85, 72,
85, 72, okay, after that
110,
110,
95,
95,
93, 81,
93, 81, good,
80, and 74.
80, 80, and 74, 74 are done. ये बाकी है कुछ?
Sir, X bar भी.
ठीक है. Now
Sir,
what we'll
X bar
have,
का वैल्यू भी बताना है.
रुक जा अभी. So yes, this is the data we are having, and we are knowing a formula for both the regression coefficient. We are going to use both this formula. So now we will be trying to trace both these thetas. Is it numerator as well as denominator? So in the numerator, we are in need of x minus x bar, y minus y bar. So for that, we need to have x bar. So for the x bar, we'll be using a simple formula that is summation x divided by n. For the y bar, we'll be using the formula summation y divided by n and summation y. The total of this particular series will give me sigma x. Total of this particular series will give me sigma y. Yes, Mohammed, let me know what are the values of sigma, x bar and y bar. If you're having a value of x
Sir,
bar and y bar, then it will be good.
X bar 92 or Y bar 81.
After calculating both that, x bar will have the value 92 and y bar will be 80,
1.
81. That's it. Can you give me the total of sigma x and the total of x series and y series if
Sir,
you're
I'm
having
doing.
twice? Okay, great. So once we are having both that x bar and y bar with us, we may go for the next column in our table. That will be x minus x bar. Now x minus x bar, we are having the value of x bar, that is x bar is 92. So we will be looking for x minus 92. So what we are supposed to do, we are just supposed to subtract 92 from each and every observation from the series x. So 100 minus 92, it will be 8. 98 minus 92, it will be 6. 78 minus 92 जो भी हो रहा है, that is minus 78 minus 92 will help me, 12 minus 14, is it? 85 minus 92, it will be minus 7. 110 minus 92, it will be 8 and 18. 93 minus 92, it will be plus 1. 80 minus 92, it will be minus 12, is it? Similarly, y minus 5 bar, the value of 5 bar is 81. So I will be trying to find y minus 81. And once we are having both the data, 85 minus 81, it will be 4. Now what I'm doing, I will subtracting 81 from this entire series of 5. 85 minus 81, it will be 4. 90 minus 81, it will be 9. 70 minus 81, it will be minus 11. 72 minus 81, it will be minus 9. 95 minus 81, it will be 14. 81 minus 81 will leads to 0, and 74 minus 81 leads to minus 7. Is it? Now, take care. We are not interested in this particular summation. We are not interested in this summation. If you try to add all these values, if you try to identify the summation of x minus x bar, then surely it will be 0. Surely it will be 0. And similarly, the y minus y bar, summation of y minus y bar will be 0. So we are not interested in this. Why these values are 0? I had informed all of you, I had make you understand about this so many times that the deviation taken from the actual mean is always 0. So we are not looking for both that values. What we are looking for, we are looking for its multiplication. So in the next column, we will be going for x minus x bar into y minus y bar. We need to multiply the respective values in both that columns. So 8 into 4 leads to 32. 8 into 4, 32. 6, 9. That will be 54. Minus 14, minus 11 जो भी हो रहा है, that will be positive sum of the number 140 plus 154 positive. 63 positive, then 18 into 14, 18 into 14, 18 into 10, 180, 180 plus 72, it will be 251, 252. 0 into anything, it will be 0, and 12 sevens are 84. So the total of this particular series will be known as summation of x minus x bar into y minus y bar. Whatever that figure is, that particular will be used over here in the numerator of both the formulas. Observe here. So that will be a numerator. So we're done with this particular data summation x minus x bar into y minus y bar. Now we are left with this particular. We need to prepare this summation x minus x bar and summation y minus y bar the whole square. So for that we need to prepare two more columns. And that will be the next two columns will be x minus x bar the wait yes where's my pen yes x minus x bar the whole square, and then we'll be trying to find y minus y bar the whole square. So we need to trace both that values yet. This is x minus x bar. What I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to square all that numbers, and we'll mention over here the square of 8 it will be 64, the square of 6 it will be 36, 14 that is 2567, that is 49, 18 that is 324, 1 that is 1, 12 that is 144, whatever the numbers are there, that will be mentioned over here. Similarly, the square of all these values will be there, and the summation of both that, the summation of for this particular series will be labeled as summation x minus x bar the square, and the summation of this particular will give us the summation y minus y bar the square. Now once we are having both that values, then we may proceed with this. We may proceed with both these formulas, and surely both, as we know that both these are the regression coefficient, both that regression coefficient will have the same sign. If if one of them is positive, then surely other will be positive. They will follow each and every property of the regression coefficient. The most important property of the regression coefficient is if one of them is greater than 1, then surely other will be less than 1. It is not possible that the values of both the regression coefficient is greater than 1, but it is totally possible that both the regression coefficient will have the value less than 1. So once we are having all that values, once we are having that particular yes, once we are having all that datas over here, summation x minus x bar the square and summation y minus y bar the square, we may proceed for that formula. And once we are having that regression coefficient, we may write down our regression lines using the formula which I mentioned at the first. So are we clear with this? Are we clear with this? Oh, I need to complete this calculation. Am I supposed to continue with this? अगर समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तो मैं ये complete करके दिखाऊँ आपको कि what is the value of summation x minus x bar, what is x bar square, and what is the value of y minus y bar square. Drop your comment on the chat box. Am I supposed to complete this, or you guys can do that? Let me know. Let me know quickly. Drop a message on the chat box. Am I audible to all of you? I'm not getting any of the response from your side. Hello. Understood, sir. Understood, sir. So what we are doing. Okay. You guys are you guys. I'm sorry, 140. Just quickly complete this particular. Till all of you together with me will complete this particular question right now. So let me erase some of the unwanted stuff from the screen. Starting with that. So be ready with your pen. Be ready with the be ready with our lab book. And what we are doing, we are completing this particular question. I'm in need of both that values, summation x minus x bar the square and summation y minus y bar the square. Okay, I'm giving you 4 minutes quickly. 4 5 minutes will be enough for you. This is the data we are having. This is the table which I had generated. So complete that remaining values quickly, and then we will be finding both the regression lines together. So I'm giving you 3 4 minutes quickly complete this stuff. मैं आपसे पूछूंगा ये दोनों वैल्यू समेशन x माइनस एक्स बार होल स्क्वायर एंड समेशन y माइनस y बार होल स्क्वायर. So who will tell me what will be the value of both that? What is the value? Yes, Mohammed. What will be the value of summation x minus x bar y minus y bar? Mohammed, am I audible?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What will be the value of this particular coordinate? X minus
Sir,
x bar y minus y bar?
summation x minus x bar y minus y bar will be 639.
639. Okay. What about this? Summation x minus x bar all square?
814.
814. And what will the value of y minus y bar all square?
544.
44. Okay, good. Hopefully, the calculation of the moment is correct. Now, once we're having this three data, we may go for the first regression coefficient. You may start with bxy or byx. The order is not important. As bxy is summation x minus x bar, y minus y bar, divided by summation y minus y bar squared. So, in the numerator, we are having a value 639. And in the denominator, that is y minus y bar the whole square, that is 544. And yes, Mohammed, what will be the division of both that? 0 point, not 0 0.1 point. Mohammed, are you there? Use your
1.175. 1.17.
1.1, 1.175. Is it? This is the first regression coefficient. Now observe, the first regression coefficient is greater than 1. Is it? The value of first regression coefficient is greater than 1. And it is positive. So before going for the second regression coefficient, some of the thing is quite clear in our mind.
That the
That the
second
second
regression
regression
coefficient,
coefficient,
what's
what's
the
the
issue?
issue? Okay. That the second regression coefficient will surely have the positive value, as well as the second regression coefficient will be less than 1. So let's try to identify the second regression coefficient, that is Vyx. The formula will be summation, same numerator will be there, x minus x bar y minus y bar, and the denominator we will have summation x minus x bar the square. So the numerator is having value 396, and the denominator summation y x minus x bar, that particular is 814. So 814. Now one can easily identify that denominator is greater than the numerator. So surely this value will be 0 point something. Moment, what will be the value? 639 divided by 814. It relates to
0.785.
0.78.
785.
Excellent. Excellent. Good, good. Observe. If one of the regression coefficient is greater than 1, then surely other is less than 1. Both this regression coefficient is having a similar sign, same sign, is it? Now, having both the regression coefficient, we may go for the regression line, which is very, very easy now. So, regression line x on y, we may start with any of them. Regression line x on y will have the format, that is x minus x bar equals to bxy into y minus y bar. Is it? Just supposed to replace all the datas. We're not gonna replace x minus x bar. X bar is 92. Bxy, one of the regression coefficient is having value 1.7, sorry, 1.175 multiplied with y minus y bar is having value 81. So what I'm supposed to do, I'm just supposed to convert this particular equation in this format. X equals to function of y, that is 1.175 times y, plus the addition of both that, that is minus 81 into 92, sorry, 81 into 1.175 plus 92. Whatever that particular calculation is, that will create one of the constant only, or that will create a single constant over, and this will be known as our regression line x on y. And similarly, you may proceed for the y on x. So once we are having both the regression lines, and once we are having both the regression coefficient, one of the data that we required is the coefficient of correlation that we are supposed that we are habituated to denote with R, or we may use the notation RXY, and we know that coefficient of correlation is nothing but the geometric mean of both the regression coefficient, so dxy into dyx. The square root of that particular will lead us towards the value of R. Dxy is 1.175. It will be multiplied with 0.785. Mohammed, help me multiply both that and identify the square root of that. So R will be the value 0. Yes, Mohammed, multiply both that 1.175 into 0.785 and identify the square root of that.
0.9604.
0.904.
604.
So this is what the coefficient of correlation, and this is the regression line x on y, yet y on x भी ऐसे ही कर सकते हैं, is it? So this is a way we can deal with a question uh, of regression lines. It's very easy, but it's a descriptive question. If the offline exam will be there, then surely one of the question of similar kind will be there for the full marks in your examination. Is it? So is there any doubt related to regression lines, regression coefficient, any of that? Kaudeep, Raj, Mohammed, Bharti, Ayush, Aditya, Arjun, Kaudeep, Darshan, Dhruvi, Divya, Hitesh, Isha, Kunal, Tema, Pranjul. If you're having any query, any doubt related to this particular process, Vibhusha, Sri, then feel free to ask. Feel free to discuss right now.
Sir,
If you're good with this, yes, please.
sir, to identify
Who's
which,
that?
sir Muhammad, sir, to identify, I mean,
Yes.
if ever we get a question, identify the regression line either x on y or 1 on x. So we can start from anyhow.
We may start with any of the, in that case, in that particular situation, you have to start with one of the assumption. You
Okay.
have to start with one of the assumption. Okay, let me help you. Just give me 1 minute. Let me clear that doubt also, because that is very important question, and surely I'm gonna put one of the kind of question in the MCQ also. So let me clear that also. Just give me, yeah, just let me take the question. Let's take it over here. Oops. Yes, Mohammed. Can you observe the question on the screen right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is it? If two regression lines are 4x minus L, if it is not visible, then let me 4x minus 5y plus 30 equals to 0. This is one of the equation. And the second equation is 20x minus 9y minus 107 equals to 0. Now, observe the format of both the equation. It is in the linear form. It is in the traditional form. X, y constant 0. X, y constant equals to 0, is it? Now, one of them is the regression line x on y, other is y on x. Now, if we wish to determine which of them is x on y and other is y on x, then we need to start with one of the assumption. Is it? You need to start with your assumption. So that will be your choice, whether you are assuming the first line is x on y. If you are assuming that first line is x on y, then surely the second is y on x. That is your assumption, once again. And you may start with the reverse also. You may assume that first is y on x and second is x on y. Is it? But it is not any fixed way. It is not any pre-decided method that your assumption must be correct. It's, we are assuming something, then might be we are correct or might be we may be wrong, might be we are wrong, is it? So assumption आप जो भी करें वो सही हो या गलत हो उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, पर assumption से काम करना चाहिए. चल जल्दी से बता दूं एक ही मिनट में. चल तू मेरे साथ रहे. Let me help you pick this one. What you need to assume. Assume one of them,
X.
whether it is x on y or y on x.
Okay, X and Y.
Okay, we are assuming that this is x on y. If we are assuming this is x on y, then surely this will be, as per assumption, this must be y on x. Is it? Now take care, this is our assumption. Is it? This is our assumption. This is not the conclusion. Now we need to decide whether our assumption is correct or not. Is it? And how we will decide? For that, if this is a regression line x on y, then surely the regression line x on y will have this particular format: x equals to my plus c. Is it? X equals to my plus c. Where this m, which is actually the slope of that particular line, but that m represents the regression coefficient x on y, and this will be our intercept. Is it? And if this is regression line y on x, then surely that regression line can be written in the form y equals to mx plus c. And this m will leads to the regression coefficient y on x. So after identifying both that regression coefficient, we may use the regression properties, regression coefficients property. If they are following all the properties, then we are good. Assumption is correct. So this is x on y, this is y on x. But if one of the regression property is not satisfied, you're having any of the contradiction over the regression property, then we are also sure that our assumption is wrong. In that case, if our assumption is wrong, then दूसरी एक ही possibility हो सकती है. अगर ये x on y नहीं है तो ये क्या होगा? Y on x ही होगा. Is it? So
Yes, sir.
we will be concluding after a single attempt. If our assumption is correct, bingo, jackpot. We are not supposed to do anything else. And if we are concluding with that assumption is wrong, then also we are having a jackpot. Because if we are having that information that assumption is wrong, then surely the correct one we are knowing. If this is not x on y, then surely this will be y on x. Getting me what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
अगर मोहम्मद यहाँ पे ऐसा हुआ कि भाई ये assumption गलत हो गई कि भाई ये x
तो
on y नहीं है, तो बात फिर भी पक्की हो गई ना कि ये x on y नहीं है, तो क्या होगा? ये y on x है. Is it?
हाँ, sir.
For that y on x, we don't need to verify it. So are we good? Or am I proceed? क्या आगे proceed करूँ थोड़ा या फिर समझ में आ रहा है तुझे?
समझ आ रहा है, clear, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sure.
Good. So in that particular exercise, we are yet pending with two questions. दो question है. In that, you are supposed to identify regression coefficient, or you are supposed to identify the regression line. So it will be quite easy for you guys. So do both that question at your time. Complete that exercise in your lab book. That will be the part of our submission. Okay, वो जो exercise है वो हमको चाहिए होगी submission में. So दो ही question बाकी रहे. आप कभी भी अपने टाइम पे कर लेना, कोई बात नहीं. It's okay. Let me start the recording.